Introduction: Relationship between Apple and Foxconn. Apple partnership with Foxconn. In its attempt to protect its technical aspects and maintain high-quality activity, Apple subcontracts the final assembly of its iPod product to different suppliers, most of which are local Taiwan. For instance, Taiwanese invent Apple products the video iPod, where Foxconn is responsible for the manufacture for the iPhone Nano. Foxconn high-quality ECMMS model enabled Apple to accept its production proposal for Apple iPhone and iPad. Foxconn integrated manufacturing plan allowed the company to supply iPhone and iPad at a much lower price, giving Apple an upper profit margin. This partnership had inevitably made Apple its large customer, which is illustrated by how video iPod production accounted for 5% of Foxconn total sales in 2007. On the other hand, by manufacturing most of Apple products, Foxconn has also become Apple's main supplier. This supply agreement has clearly profited both companies financially.
Business Apple. Apple is a hardware company, not a software company, as provided by the railway that Steve Jobs saved Apple. PowerBooks, iBooks, and the iPod. Foxconn. Foxconn manufactures electronic goods for major American, Canadian, Chinese, Finnish, and Japanese companies. Notable products manufactured by Foxconn include the BlackBerry, iPad, iPhone, iPod, Kindle, Nintendo 3DS, Nokia device, Xiaomi device, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox One, and the 3-4 CPU socket on some motherboards.
B. History of business. Apple Inc. Apple Inc., formerly Apple Computer Inc., is an international corporation that creates consumer electronic personal computers, server and computer software, and is a digital distributor of media content. Apple's main produce lines are the iPhone smartphone, iPad tablet computer, iPad portable media player, and Macintosh computer line. Founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created Apple Computer on April 1976 and incorporated the company on January 3, 1977 in Cupertino, California.
Foxconn is the owner and CEO of three Chinese factories, Guanglang, Longhua, and Chengdu, and is also supplied for Apple products. HSPIL, world large electronic manufacturer and make electronic components, including Bring Secure Board. 112 among global Fortune 500 companies, hold over 25,000 patents worldwide, making it a recognized leader of innovation and technical know-how. Then 1. Analyze and describe Apple opportunity cost of production if it chooses to manufacture its own product. A firm opportunity cost production is the value of the best alternative use of the resources that a firm uses in production. The sum of the cost using resources. First, bird in the market explicit. Buy in the market need higher cost because in market the price raised out depend on material sales to how many supplies. 2. Owner by the firm implicit. Product by firm itself, high cost and in R&D. 3. Supply by the firm owner implicit. Buy from other need higher cost because other have included R&D cost on it. Apple is using resources owned by the firm. The firm includes an opportunity cost of production because it could have sold the capital and rent capital from another firm. Implicit rents the capital from itself. 2. The long-term business run produced by Apple is risk because the result from the R&D is own property and also able to monitor or upgrade from the current R&D result. 3. It will be cheaper in long term. Number 4. After research come out, maybe Apple could be like Sony, steal the phone camera. However, it can be another big advantage. 5. The company sign all its products designed by Apple in California, but in US, design is as far as Apple willing to go. The tech giant outsources hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs to countries like Mongolia, China, Korea, and Taiwan, but Apple apparently does not outsource this job to save money.
Content 2. Choose any two of the factors of production, labor, capital, land, entrepreneurship, and explain the effects on Apple. If it chooses to manufacture its own products, labor, the labor pool that contributed to the realization of the iPod Touch includes external stateside workers who worked on its design, prototyping and eventual marketing and sales efforts, and external labor working in foreign factories in Asia. By using external labor for manufacturing, Apple reduces its manufacture costs for the iPod Touch and other products. On the other hand, assigning manufacturer duties to a foreign entity can lead to unexpected problems and reduces the control Apple holds over the final product quality. October 2011, for example, the temporary closures of a factory in China that produces MacBook and iPod casing led to a production delay and directly affected supply as a result. Entrepreneurship. With Steve Jobs at its helm, Apple made a name for itself as a leader in the entrepreneurship category on an international scale. Apple's emphasized innovations in its product line and its efforts to materialize it on brand. Instead of design, the first generation iPod Touch incorporated the multi-touch display and other core elements of the first generation iPhone, which was received months earlier. Steve Jobs' resolution to use again exciting design elements of an unrelated yet financially successful device doubled the value of the labor Apple had put into the research and development efforts for the multi-touch display.
Interpret what kind of firm contract that might be faced by Apple if it chooses to have its own production plant in the US. The firm contract. The firm profit is limited by three factors of the environment. A. Technology contract. A firm resources and the available technology limit its production. B. Information contract. The cost of coping in with limited information itself limit profit. C. Market contract. Willingness to pay it for its customer and by the price and marketing effort by revenue firm. Willingness of people to work for and invest in the firm.
Market constraints that might face by Apple is it chooses to have its own production plant in the United States. Taxation. The cost of production Apple products in the United States will be high because of the higher cost of workers and materials in the United States, and the cost of government tax is higher than in China. So the price of Apple products will increase and the quantity of demand will decrease. It will make the profit almost lesser. Transportation and shipping costs. The best-selling consumer device in the United States was designed in Cupertino, California and produced at the Foxconn facility 6,500 miles from the Shenzhen, China. If more costs will be incurred due to the time and distance of picking up. China provides the most advanced transportation and shipping service all around the world by tapping into all these products could be shipped and transportation to any part of the country within a day or two. From the beginning, cosmetic manufacturers in the United States may be not more likely to provide better service than Chinese or other Asian countries' manufacturers. For example, Beyond Apple, Samsung built many of its Galaxy phones in South Korea and manufactured them here, as well as Vietnam and China. Amazon turns out those equals and dots figure in China, and Japan-based Nintendo makes the popular Switch video game season in Asia. Labor force. If Apple plans to open a new production plant as part of its effort to expand its business, Apple will need to hire at least 20,000 new labor for the next 5 years. Apple needs well-trained workforce in order to operate and run line production and make sure safety within. However, if Apple to build production line in the US, the money that they have to pay to the workers compared with China will be double due to US labor law constraints. Also, US citizens are less likely to enroll in labor work such as working in factories. As such, Apple will have difficulties to hire workers in the US that are willing to work their production line.
Conclusion: Apple should manufacture products by Foxconn because Foxconn is the world's largest contract electronic manufacturer. It can help Apple produce more products better. Foxconn is the largest private employer in Taiwan. It can help Apple solve production problems. Foxconn integrated manufacturing plants allows the company to supply iPhone and iPad at a much lower price, giving Apple an upper profit margin. Partnership has inadvertently made Apple its largest customer. By manufacturing most of Apple products, Foxconn has also become Apple's main supplier.
Of Apple, Foxconn Technology Group is now considering to their subcontractor and it is their business partner, Kalamazoo 2017. Being to the Foxconn is planning to produce something unique in a new location. The Taiwan example of Apple is planning to spin off a subsidiary in Shanghai, March 2018. Foxconn Technology Group is one of the world's top producers of computer connectors and components, as well as a major bare-bones desktop and notebook PC manufacturer working with many of the world's top high computer products and firms, including Apple, Dell, Compaq, Intel, and other international directory of company history 2004. The two Steve Jobs and Wozniak may have been Apple's more visible founders, but were it not for their friend Ronald Van, there strength be no iPhone, iPad, and iMac today. Rawlinson, 2015.